Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another true crime video yet again, and today we will be talking about the case of the killer grandma, Cynthia Cdebaca. Cynthia Cdebaca was born on February 11th, 1951. She had one daughter named Laura, and at the time of this case, she was already widowed. Now, not much is known about Cynthia's childhood nor her past. However, in 2013, she suffered a massive stroke, which then resulted to her living with her daughter and her family. Now, Laura worked as a real estate agent and had been married to a man named Jaward Eustachio since 2001. Jaward himself was in the real estate business as well, and he was also a military reserve for the U.S. Armed Forces as well as a high school rugby coach. And because of how hardworking they were, Jaward and Laura were able to afford more than just the necessities in life. They were eventually able to purchase a nice home in an upscale neighborhood. Now, Jaward and Laura had two kids together, but Jaward also had two older kids from a previous marriage. And Jaward was often described as a very strict and had very hard to reach expectations from everyone around him. One of his kids also said that he had an alpha personality, but he was like this because he wanted nothing more but for his kids to succeed in life, just like how most parents are. Now, his kids and wife understood this and knew him very well. However, his mother in law Cynthia did not agree with how he treated all of them because basically it seemed like they were in the military too. Now, Cynthia, as I have mentioned, started living with Jaward and Laura after suffering from a massive stroke. She had her own place in their property, a smaller house behind the main one, which they all referred to as the granny flat. Now, Jaward and Cynthia didn't always meet eye to eye, and they would often argue about various things. They disagreed on how the kids were being raised, and Cynthia also did not appreciate how Jaward was treating her daughter Laura. And basically, they just did not get along. They also had very different political views and personal opinions, which added more fuel to the fire. Now, these arguments only worsened and became a regular thing when Cynthia moved in with the family in 2013. Their family members say that there had always been tension between the two. However, none of them anticipated what would transpire in February 11th, 2014. It was Cynthia's 63rd birthday, and she woke up in a great mood, excited to attend her grandchild's spelling bee in the morning and then celebrating her birthday afterwards. Laura was already at work and the kids were already at school. And at around 8 a.m., numerous calls from various homes were made to 911, with sounds of gunshots in one particular area being reported. Police and paramedics alike were both pointed to the direction of where these gun sounds were coming from. And upon arriving at the Eustachio residence, they found a trail of blood from the garden leading to the kitchen, and this is where they found Jaward, who was declared dead on the scene. Laura and the kids were informed right away, and of course, Laura was heartbroken. She just lost the love of her life. She couldn't believe what just happened, and at the time, she didn't even notice that her mother had not been accounted for yet until the police asked where Cynthia was. Now, Laura said that she wasn't sure, but since it was Cynthia's birthday, she told the police officer her favorite places to go. And at 3 p.m., the authorities were finally able to track her down at her favorite local coffee shop. Now, the birthday girl was brought in for questioning, and shockingly, without any hesitation, Cynthia confessed to killing Jaward in a fit of rage. And we're pretty much used to interrogations wherein the person being questioned would either deny all allegations or confess to doing the act, but they would show some signs of remorse or guilt. However, Cynthia Cdebaca is nothing like that. Her questioning and confession were bizarre. According to her, when she woke up, she got dressed for the day and was ready to head to her grandchild's spelling bee. However, when Jaward saw what she was wearing, he dissed her and said that she looked ghetto. Now, Jaward at the time was tending to some laundry. He was doing his laundry and he had no idea that Cynthia was so pissed off with what he said that she actually went back to her granny flat to retrieve a pistol from her bedside drawer. This 66-year-old woman then made her way back to the garden, and with his back facing her, she shot her son in law 2 times. Jaward was already weak at this point after having been shot twice, but he still managed to get himself into the kitchen and close the door behind him, locking it on the way. Now, meanwhile, Cynthia made her way to the car, not to run away, but to get more bullets. She reloaded her gun, then followed Jaward and shot him through the kitchen window 5 times before going back to her car yet again to reload her pistol for the last time before going back to where Jaward was and shot him another 5 times. Jaward Eustaquio was shot a total of 12 times. And of course, he did not make it. He left behind his wife, Laura, and 4 children. After that bizarre confession, Cynthia then asked the investigators about Jaward's condition. And after being told that he had passed away due to his injuries, this was her reaction.
Is he dead?
He's dead, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, oh boy.
You don't feel bad about it?
No,
Would you do it again?
yes. Oh God, oh, you didn't have to do that. I wanted to. Oh my God. Please.
Birthday!
No.
13 years I wanted to go get him.
I'm devastated. Oh, honey.
Oh,
Come kiss me, please.
no, you killed my dad.
After leaving her son in law to bleed out on the kitchen floor, Cynthia simply drove off, had lunch at a Denny's, gambled for 2 hours, and then went to have coffee at her favorite local cafe, where she was later found by the police. 63-year-old Cynthia Cdebaca was arrested and remained in custody for 3 years while awaiting trial, which started on February 2017. Now, according to Cynthia, she did not plan any of this and was just caught in the moment. However, it was then determined that she had purchased this pistol just 3 weeks prior to the incident. After making this purchase, she made multiple visits to the range to practice her aim. So clearly, this was premeditated, or she was at least preparing for their next fight. I mean, who else was she going to? But what surprised most people was the fact that Laura testified against her husband in court. She testified against her dead husband, Jaward. She stated that he would sometimes be abusive and that her mother knew of this. However, there was no concrete proof to back this up. And I mean, yeah, it's pretty shocking for her to testify against Jaward. However, I do think that even though Laura wasn't happy with what her mother did to her husband, Jaward was gone and she probably did not want to lose her mother as well. So I somehow understand what she was going through. And shockingly, not a lot of people do. But anyway, Laura was definitely going through a lot. during this time. And Cynthia also said that Jaward was so mean that he even threw away the urn that contained her late husband's ashes. However, these allegations also could not be proven. Her defense team then argued that Cynthia's poor choices were probably influenced by the stroke that she suffered back in 2013. However, Cynthia then underwent testing to determine if she was competent enough and if she was in the right mind during the violent attack. And she was 100%. On March 23rd, 2017, the 66-year-old Cynthia Cdebaca was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 50 years. And since she was already 66 when she was given that sentence, it's safe to say that she will never see the light of day again. Now, I'm not sure if she will be spending the remainder of her life behind bars because I did see in a few articles that she was allegedly sent in a nursing home instead because she was already weak and frail and she was sick. But yeah, she will never be a free woman. And that is pretty much all the information that I have for you guys for today's case. I know that was a pretty short one, but as I have mentioned in my previous videos, I will be uploading a follow up video on Thursday or Friday where I will be reading and reacting to people's thoughts, theories, and conspiracies to this case. I hope you guys found this case interesting and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for tuning in and I will see you guys on my next video.